This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this StockBox interview.
Well, today I'm joined by Jason Drummond, CEO of MedPal. Jason, it sounds like it's been a busy couple of weeks for you. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Yeah, we've had quite a few announcements the last week or so.
Definitely, yeah. So should we begin with the formal approval for the change of ownership of the NHS pharmacy contract into MedPal's name? Can you tell us about this? I mean, was this something you'd already been confident that you'd get following your acquisition of Universal?
Yeah, we were confident we were going to get approval from the NHS, but obviously it's very nice to receive it. So as you were saying, we now basically have a direct contract with the NHS, which is exciting. And the DSP license, as we mentioned in the previous announcement, is a great thing to have. It enables us to sell medication and pharmacy services across the United Kingdom from our new base in Norfolk. It's a great asset for us.
Good. So are there any other regulatory steps now, or are you pretty much, good to go, as it were, from here?
Yeah, no. We commenced trading from the facility a couple of weeks ago, which again we announced. And in fact, you saw this morning we gave an update, which is pretty exciting. So the first 10 days of trading, we've done over just under 15,000 prescriptions or orders in the last 10 days through the new facility, which is above our expectations.
Yeah, I was going to mention that you said it was beyond your expectations. What do you think it is about the model that's striking such a chord so quickly?
Well, I always had this idea, this kind of big vision that if you can make healthcare, accessible instantly to everyone, ideally at ultra low cost or even maybe free, that there would be a huge demand for it. Because if you look at the way pharmacy services work today, it's very much stuck in the past. It reminds me of retail, like mid 90s, pre-Amazon, in how you actually go about it. You're not feeling great. You ring your GP, it takes you 45 minutes to get through. They call you back. Maybe if they're then trying to assess how ill you are, if you're lucky, you might get an appointment within a couple of days. You then have to take time off work, see a GP, more time off work, go to the pharmacy, get the medication. This could be 5 or 6 hours of your time. What we basically built is, and this is really through the use of AI and robotics to reduce the cost significantly, we built into the MedPal app. We track through the app all of your key medical information and stats. So if you've got an Apple Watch or an Oura Ring or a Fitbit or any number of different devices, we take all that information into MedPal. If you're not feeling great, you can speak to or talk to the AI. It does a triage, and then at the point at which it does all the work, it works out, what might be wrong with you, and then hands you over at the last moment to a clinician, to an independent prescriber or a GP, who can then basically interact with you over WhatsApp. Again, this is what we announced on Friday, is this sort of multimodal MedPal.clinic service where, over whatever way you want to communicate, we will communicate with you. And then ultimately, the GP or the prescriber can basically prescribe your medication. And then we have this huge fulfillment center with robots running 24/7, which can pick the medication literally in seconds, where historically it would take a pharmacist up to 15 minutes to prepare one prescription. We can do it literally in seconds. And also, by the way, the accuracy is so much higher. I mean, it's a 99.99% accuracy on the robots, where the human dispensers make up to 2% errors, would you believe? So, yeah, and then we can get medication to you. So we started off really with this big idea of how can we make healthcare affordable, accessible instantly, and we've done it. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
And, looking at the orders that have come through, clearly people like what we're doing.
Yeah, well, I think we can all relate to that sort of sluggish legacy process of getting a prescription through, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So with the 24/7 facility now up and running and the launch of the website last week, do you expect the number of prescriptions issued to just keep gathering momentum from here then?
Well, there are two big drivers of that. Firstly, the app, we have this big this distribution deal with eParcy, which is the biggest provider of services to corporates in the UK for employee benefits. We have access to 11 million eParcy members in the UK, of which have gym memberships. So there's 11 million people in the UK with gym memberships. We also did a deal with Independent Gym Network, which gets us access to a further 2,000 gyms, another 2 million users. So we have access to nearly 13 million gym goers in the UK, which is huge. huge. And that's basically putting the MedPal app, which effectively is like a health and wellness app, which aggregates all of your data and does some really cool stuff. But that creates really a complementary flywheel, demand generation against fulfillment, and the app that we built with the clinic services, where it can then actually take you, when it sees a problem, it can now actually help you deal with the problem and get you access to GPs and prescribers, and then actually send you the medication. So that's basically the big driver. The other big driver we announced on Friday, we've launched on the clinic service a weight loss service online, medpal.clinic, where you can get access to the weight loss drugs like Mounjaro and Wegovy. It's a huge opportunity. It's slightly opportunistic, but 2.5 million people in the UK are now on weight loss medication. That's generating over £500 million a month. So we're going to go into that market as well. So I think the combination of access to 13 million people in the UK putting apps on their phones, plus the weight loss growth in the weight loss medication, I think we're going to see demand growing pretty rapidly. 15,000 prescription orders items in the first 10 days. If you remember on the announcement of the opening of the Swaffham DSP, that's the National Distribution Centre with the robotics and the whole thing, we talked about targeting 100,000 prescriptions a month. Well, we've just done 15,000 in 10 days. It shows that we're probably going to hit that target pretty quickly, which is exciting. So we might be in the market for more robots.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, those prescriptions come in at least £9.90 each, don't they? That's the standard NHS.
Yeah, we've tried to give investors a bit of a steer as to what the revenues might be. Obviously, we don't want to put specific numbers out there, but the one number we can put out there is say, look, the minimum that you generate as a pharmacy is around just under £10 per item, per prescription. So at least it gives people an idea of, when we're talking about 15,000 or 100,000 items, what the minimum revenue is going to be. Clearly, the actual revenue, if you look at weight loss, Mounjaro is anywhere between £200 and £300 a month. So clearly that's a lot higher revenue than £10. But £10 gives you a good guide. It has to be at least £10.
Yeah, it's a good conservative guide. So yeah, you can do the basic maths there and see that the revenue potential here is quite significant and could be coming quite quickly. Will you be reinvesting, those revenues, profits into growing out the business? And
yeah, this is all about growth. And in fact, I think Optimo, you may have seen Optimo initiated some research on MedPal. I think it's about a week or so ago. I think last Monday. In fact, there's a link on our website. We put a link on it to it as well. But that gives an indication of where they think the revenue is going to be this year. And it's we're building a significant business. If you know my background, FairFX was turning over tens of millions of pounds pretty quickly, and sold for 300 million at Christmas. So we're not hanging around. We've only been listed, I think, it's 9 weeks, and we've already done a bunch of deals, partnerships, and now we're significantly revenue generating as well.
Sure. And will the focus remain on that weight loss market for the time being, or given the demand, will you look to expand into all types of prescription?
Yeah, look, our aim is to put MedPal on everyone's phone, because if you can get free access to GPs and clinicians, why would you not put it on your phone? And that's really the logic. You always start with the user and solving a problem. It's what I've done over the last 20 or 30 years, and we're definitely solving a big problem. And I think the volume of orders we've taken in such a short time shows that we're onto something. Why would you not have MedPal on your phone if you can get access to GPs for free, and get medication delivered same day, next day?
Absolutely. Great. Well, thanks again, Jason. Looking forward to catching up again soon.
Thank you for your time.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.